Mandalas. That's what we are going to do. Okay, we're going to start with our mandalas with an 8x8 piece of paper. You can do it bigger, you can do it smaller. The first one that you saw was my daughter's. She did that on probably, it was like a 24x18 piece of paper, very large. And she just did that freehand. She's pretty good at this. But I'm going to show you a beginner way so that you can slowly work up to do fantastic mandalas. Now, square piece is better, so this is how we're going to start. But you could do 12x12, you could do, 10x10, doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm lining up the corners and measure once, measure twice, draw once. So just double check that it's right on the corners. And what I'm doing right now is finding the center point. Now, don't be sloppy when you make your square, because everything else will be off if your square is off. Okay, I'm lining it up to make sure it's straight. This might take you a minute, and it's okay if it takes you a minute. It's better to get it right the first time than have your entire mandala messed up. Okay, so make sure it's straight. Now, all I did was an X and then a cross. Now you're going to have to measure a little. So I am putting the end of my ruler. Check where your 0 is, because some rulers have a little space before they start with 0. Putting the end of my ruler at the corner. You can see that it's 8 inches. 1, 2. I make a mark. 1, 2. I make a mark. So every 2 inches, I'm making a mark. So again, I'll just turn my paper. And let's see, 1, 2. I make a mark. 1, 2. Wait, hold on. 4, so it's 5, 6. I make a mark. Turn my paper again. So every 2 inches, there's basically a line because I'm making a mark at the 2. There's a line at the 4. I make a mark at the 6. And then there's a line at the 8. So, and if I'm going too fast, just pause the video. I will be right here when you come back. So now I have, you can see my marks, and I'm going to start now with creating the rest of the pattern. Now, this one is going to go across the center line and touch this one. This one's going to come to this one, and so forth. So I'm going to line up my lines, and these might not be perfect. I rarely get them perfect. That's pretty good, but you can see this one's a little wider. That's okay. You just go with it. All this is kind of a rough skeleton to work with. Here we go. And here we go. So now I have a starburst. Okay. Now if you have a compass, that's fantastic. That's the easiest. If you don't have a compass, I made this, and you can make it even with a cardboard, anything you want. You basically just stick your pencil in one end like this, and then you make sure you're on the center. And I did these little holes every 1 inch, and then you put your other pencil and you hold your paper. It's easy to tape down your paper if you're doing this, and you spin it around. That makes perfect circles, and it works great. I'm going to use my compass just because the compass is a little bit easier, and I think it makes it so you guys can see the circles that I'm making better. So I'm going to start, maybe my first circle's right about here. There's my first circle, and I'm drawing pretty dark. You're going to erase all these. I'm drawing them dark so that you can see them. You can draw them much lighter. Here's my next circle. And all this is giving us a frame. And I'm going to do a little short one right here because I'll just do something small in there. I don't know what yet. Actually, maybe I'll do just a short one right here too, just because I feel like it. And you don't have to copy me. If you want to copy me the first time, I totally get it. Sometimes that's the best way to learn. And then the next time you can do whatever you want. But this time you can do whatever you want if that's what you like. Okay, so there's my basic pattern. Now, all you're going to do is fill it in with shapes. And you can do two different ways. You can do every single piece of the pie. You can do every single one the same shape. Or you can do these two the same, these two not the same. These two the same, these two not the same. You can do every other. But whatever you do, you create a pattern. So I'm going to adjust this so it's a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit easier to do small circles, because I want a tiny little one right here in the middle. My pencil drop down there. And because I think I'm going to do a little sun shape, because it's raining outside and I wish it was sunny. Cannot wait for spring. So I'm going to do it in pencil first because I don't want to mess up. And then I will go over it with Sharpie, and I might use color Sharpies. If you don't have Sharpies, you can always use markers or crayons or colored pencils. Colored pencils are fabulous because they shade. So, like I said, you can fast forward, you can skip, whatever you want. So I think I'm going to start with doing little tiny lines, and maybe I'll do a swirl. Yeah, maybe I'll do a swirl. I think I like the swirl idea better. So then it looks like it's bursting out. Maybe I want to do those lines. And then I'm going to do my first shape. I'm going to do a triangle. And find the center, go down, triangle, that's my center, go down, and you can tell that I did not do very good on measuring, but that's okay. It's not a problem. That part does not have to be perfect. This is kind of just your plan. Makes it easier if it is perfect, but it's okay if it's not. A lot of people do it freehand and just guess where their lines go. I cannot do that. I always really mess it up. So, and this kind of artwork is actually really hard for me. Some people, like my daughter who did that first one you saw, she does that all day long. She does it on her hands with Sharpies. She did it on her calculator for math because she was bored in math. She did it on her pants, which I kind of got a little mad and had a talking with. She's even doing it on the walls in her bedroom. It's how she relaxes. And she just goes and does freehand and does a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous job. I cannot do that. Okay, so there's my first pattern. Okay, kind of interesting. I might move this down a little bit. This one, they started getting a little high when I'm closer. So when I do that with marker, I will make sure I move them down a little bit more because I think I like that closer. So I'll adjust that when I get with my marker. Now this next one, I'm going to start at this corner and I'm going to go to this corner. I'm going to do that with each one. Try to keep my arch kind of the same. Let's see what that's going to do. And again, you do whatever you like. Okay. And then once I get to the end, I am going to start, see, halfway. And I will make flower petals. They're going to meet halfway. So you can kind of see my design starting to come alive. You can see what I am doing. Now, the next part, I think I'm going to change my shape, and I'm going to make this one a little bit more curvy, and I'll adjust that when I do my marker. I think this one I'm just going to do lines, really. And this I don't have to draw all the way out. So that's just my idea. And when I get there, I will do that. Maybe this one, instead of doing lines, I think I'll do circles. Maybe this one will be circles too, little tiny circles going around in that band. Or maybe that one will just be color. I'll have to see. Now let's see. Maybe this one I am just going to do, I'm going to use a little ruler. I'll get my small ruler out so it's easier. I'm just going to do a zigzag. Let's see. And whenever, maybe a little sharper pencil. Whenever I use my ruler, I put my pencil where I want it to start, then move my ruler to where I want it to end. It just goes quickly that way. Where I want it to start, where I want it to end. I want it to start here, end here, start here. Ooh, wait, I messed up. Nope, I didn't mess up. That's what. Okay. My camera kind of attacked me, but that's okay. So I'm going to keep going. Oops. That threw me off. And I'm going to put it on pause while I finish this. I'll show you next. Okay, so I got the lines done. And now I think I'm just going to end with maybe something that looks like petals. Maybe circles. This would be a petal. This would be circles. You could put cool stuff in here if you like. This will be a petal. Circles. Petal. Circles. Petal. Circle. Petal. Oh my goodness. Petal. Circle. Circle. Petal. Circles. Oops, these are circles. So it's always good to use a pencil. Okay, now I'm going to start using my Sharpie. I'm going to ink it with my Sharpie, and then I think I'm going to color it with colored pencils. So we'll keep going in a second. Okay, I'm back. Now, I added one more thing. I added these double lines. And to do that, I always give myself a guide point. So there's my dot. And I just slowly go down. Slowly go down. All right, I have inked it all. Now, we are going to erase the pencil. Even with Sharpie, give it a second to dry. And now we can start erasing. Hopefully I'm not shaking the table too much, and my camera will not attack me again. All right, once I have erased all the pencil, I'm going to color it. So you guys keep erasing and put me on pause. Okay, so I've taken the time, I've erased mine very nice and clean. If you notice, I love these white erasers. I haven't been in the eraser market for a while, so there might be better ones, but this one's really nice because it doesn't tear up the paper. And I'm using Prismacolors. Now, you could probably use any colored pencils will work great, but if you have these, they're nice because they blend really good. So I'm going to be doing some blending when I start coloring this. So, and you know what? You don't have to use colored pencils. If you have watercolors, if you haven't seen, you can do markers and then wash them with water and they turn into watercolors. I love crayons. You guys decide. And remember, take a picture and email it to me so I can put it up on our website. Sometimes you just have to take your time and go slow. Whenever I'm coloring something, I have a scratch paper to get ideas on what the colors look like. So don't be afraid to do that either, so that you kind of know what colors look good and how to do it. Now I went back through and I made sure I did not have any white spots. Quality counts. Remember our poster board. The only difference between good quality and bad quality is time. So take your time to make something fantastic. Still going. Taking my time. How are you guys coming along with yours? A little bit of slow going. Remember, just take your time. Sometimes you can even watch TV or have someone read a book while you're working on it, or just talk to your friend. Okay, there it is. There's my mandala. I hope you guys had fun. And remember, it doesn't have to look exactly like this. In fact, it's okay if it does, but I would like to see the mandalas that you guys choose to do. So remember, send me a picture when you're done. I'd love to put it up on my website. Bye.